Okay, this is the Podkatz with your host, Jason Katz. Nope, I think I said it wrong. This is the Podkatz with Jason Katz with your host, Jason Katz. It's 11 a.m. on June 18th. Stardate 2026. Dude, fuck this Porsche, man. Just completely. Looks like there's an accident at I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck did that guy just do? He just pointed at me or some shit. Fuck that guy. Fuck you and your Porsche, bitch. I'm doxing you right now. CSY3509. Oh, look at that. 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 Look at that, you little bitch. Does that say Brazzers? I don't know. We're in the heart of Ravenna. Checks only. Jesus Christ. There's an upholstery store right next to me, and it says checks only. My brother in Christ. We have AI girlfriends, and you can't take a credit card? What are we doing as a country? No, I'm just kidding. It's the middle of summer. I woke up kind of late because I was hungover, and I've broken my sobriety. You know, I did over 90 days no weed, and I've smoked twice this week. One was at a party, one was last night. Dude, fuck this guy. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. I'm a little Porsche driver. Why is it that the people that have money end up being the worst people? Is it just humans are masquerading? Right? Like, if you're, like, not broke, are you just masquerading as, like, a person because you have to fit in society? Or are these people... I actually like, there's this theory going around. It's like the end game, aka being rich, is so boring that you lose your creativity and human spark to the point where you just like eat babies. Because like that's the way Gen Z is, and like younger people are like rationalizing the like Epstein file claims that the elites eat babies. It's just they're so bored, they're so out of ideas to spend money that they're like, fuck it, I guess we'll just eat babies. Oh, wait, you are going. Okay. If she was going right, I would not have stopped her. But but she didn't really signal, or if she did, the sun is in my eye, or the sun is not illuminating what it is. So, either way. We're at 3 minutes. This feels like hell. This might be a short one. I just did my chiropractor. I think I've entered the point with my chiropractor where like it's no longer, not unbeneficial, but it's just sort of maintenance, I guess. Like I don't feel better. I don't feel worse. I feel a little bit better. There's been a few times I've left a chiropractor, not this one, and been like, oh my God, everything is worse. Very dry out. The World Cup's in the swing of things. I don't mind the World Cup. You know, honestly, it's not as bad traffic-wise as I thought. Everybody that's like there for it is like in a confined area downtown, and they're used to walking and shit like that. So it's not really affecting me per se. Oh my God. What else is happening in my life? My therapist said to me today, I think you're going through a grieving, or not today, but like Monday, they were like, I think you're going through a grieving process. And I was like, fuck, I know. I mean, I didn't realize it until then, but like, dude, grieving's a bitch. Because like, I'm definitely in the anger, or no, I don't know. I'm doing all of them at once. I'm bargaining, you know. I'm like mourning this past life that I've lived, and like trying to become a more adult person, because like, you know, I'm 30. Last night I did a lot of self-talk. Like a lot of like last night I got high and I was talking to like my inner child, I feel like, as an adult. Because part of addressing your inner child and your inner teenager and your inner adult is like comforting your inner child with your inner adult, because you are your inner adult and the child's hurt and the teenager is hurt, and like you have to be the adult that like other people weren't, you know. This has nothing to do with comedy, but you know, a lot of people in comedy use it as an outlet, and that's not fair. People are there to laugh. People end up being there to do therapy. I remember last time, when was it? Last Thursday? The guy before me was just like, I do this because it's therapy. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, therapy is therapy, so, you know, go to therapy. Holy crap. Anyways, inner child work is it's crazy, because for the longest time I just haven't been embracing the like inner voice in my head, and it's like for the first time ever I'm like embracing the voices in my head and soothing them and acknowledging them, instead of just being like, nah, it's just a inner voice or whatever. Because I have to acknowledge the feelings and thoughts, I have to sit in them, I have to acknowledge them again, I guess, and then let it go. And letting it go is like, really, it's painful, you know? Like I need to let go of the things and people I put like on a pedestal because I saw the good in them. And just because they did something good that made me see the good in them, like maybe like 90%, or I don't know, like, you know, like 20% of the time, it does not make up for the other 80%, which was toxic, you know? And like my inner child and stuff is like very mad that I have to let go. I don't want to let go. That sucks. And it's like, because I feel like I'm wrong. I feel like I wasted my time. I feel like I have to start over. But, you know, it's okay. Like, my inner adult has to be like, I know, but it's okay. You know, like, I want to, like, let go of that chick that I've talked about on the podcast. And it's like, no, but, like, I love her. And it's like, okay, well, she's not here and she's not willing to even make eye contact with you, and you just have to let it go, and that sucks. And I'm so angry about that, because it seems like I've been holding on to a lot of stuff and I'm just like it's more so like the family stuff. Like, I have to let go of my mom and dad basically emotionally, because like they weren't really good. Holy crap. How do you know somebody's a bad fucking driver? I know you can't see this, but they have Pokemon stickers on the back of their car. Definitely doesn't bode well. Honestly, a lot of millennials have like Arrested Development, and they just use toys to like, they're like, I like Nintendo. I'm a grown adult. It's like, bro, you just have Arrested Development. And not the cool show. Maybe I do, I don't know. But my point is like, self-soothing just feels so, not lethargic, but like emotional, because you're like, but I did all the things right, and all this, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, yeah, I know. But you still needed to sit in reality. And I need to sit in reality and just accept that, like, that's not how these things are gonna go down. Is that an undercover cop? He has an exempt housing authority. The Seattle Housing Authority couldn't afford a new car. That guy's driving around in like a 2008 Ford Focus. No, but it is painful. Like, I have to be like, you tried everything. The people that were supposed to raise you to like emotional maturity just didn't even understand it themselves. It's frustrating, blah, blah, blah. My dad's a child. My mom's a child emotionally. You just have to accept that and let it go. Because holding on to them on this pedestal of like, they're my parents and I love them it's not good for the brand. I tried so hard to get my parents to be motivated to be emotionally fulfilling and emotionally, like, I tried so hard to get them to see from my point of view why they're failing as parents and that they should be doing things that like emotionally validate me, and they just always chose the opposite, and that sucks. That sucks. And it sucks because like I don't want to admit that like, the people that I put on such a high pedestal, I don't want to put people on pedestals. I mean, we all do to some extent when you care about somebody, but I guess it's more the potential. Like, they showed me that they could, and then they chose not to. Because for whatever reason, they just couldn't face the emotions. And it's like, well, they were supposed to raise me with the emotions and the capacity to like express emotion. And it's like, yeah, but they didn't. And you're 30 and you're just realizing it yourself. And the only person that can like really soothe you with that is me, Jason Katz. Because I'm talking about me. And that's just being an adult, I guess. Sucks. I guess this doesn't really tie into comedy. But honestly, it's sad when somebody... I hope I don't get to the point where somebody is reaching out for me to be emotionally capable and I just can't. Or I don't want to change. Change is hard, I get it. But like, being stuck and losing people is something I don't really... Holy shit, it's the Seattle traffic puzzle where like the guy to the side of me is going just fast enough where I can't change lanes, and the person in front of me is going just slow enough to like not, you know what I mean? Like everyone's just like cruising, and it's like, my motherfucking guy, we need to go. Like, I'm trying to go someplace and you're just like la-di-da-di-da, I'm in a 2,000-pound vehicle, la-di-da-di-da, I'm just not gonna blah 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 blah, I'm just not gonna, I'm going 60, what do you want from me? It's like, I want you to go 70. I want you to put your fucking gas pedal a little bit in the acceleration motion. Anyways, it's sad to admit defeat. Defeat is such an ego killer. But it's not defeat. It just feels like defeat because of my emotional upbringing. And my ego is just not, my ego just doesn't understand that, to quote Picard, you can do everything right and still lose. And in this case, I lost my parents because I think what's normal to me is mistreatment. Like I am acceptable. I accept a lot of mistreatment from people and see it as normal. That's how people treat me. Not like anyone who like, not like most people are dicks to me, but like for the longest time, holy shit, is this not focused? Is it the, never mind. What I'm trying to say is, I'm tired of being like, oh my god, it's Jason Katz, like, let's just make fun of him. And that's just because I was so used to it, because my parents just like made fun of me. And it's like, bro, I mean, they didn't make fun of me, but they didn't stop anyone from making fun of me. They didn't raise me to stop other people. They raised me to be afraid of punishment for anything, especially advocating for yourself, because the punishment usually came from them. So what they were really raising me to do was just like not question them. Mainly my dad. But all of that is okay. It happens. You learn a new perspective, I guess. you try again with people that give a shit. I guess. Isn't that a shitty outcome? Because it does feel like I'm like letting go of someone like that I love for like a long time. But it's like, if I continue to love them and put them on this pedestal and be like, maybe one day they'll see, it's gonna be such a painful existence until I finally realize that, like, stop, put myself on the pedestal, you know? Like, don't put other people, don't put women on the pedestal, don't put pussy on the chain wax. That's a Key and Peele quote. But also, like, don't put pussy on the pedestal. They're, you know, it's just sex. And I'm not talking about my parents, I'm talking about the girl. But, like, you know, emotionally we all seek out the things we didn't get, and or the things that are familiar. And in this case, I seeked out somebody that was familiar to me, and the familiarity, it was a person. Holy shit. You better have a good reason for braking. Oh, you don't? Look at that. Look at that gap. Look at that 3-car gap. Anyways, what am I talking about? Freud, I guess. But, like, you know, we don't attract people who give us unfamiliar feelings. In this case, the unfamiliar feelings to me is somebody that wants me and wants me to be around them and wants to be around me, because my parents did not want to be around me as a child or an adult. They kind of just wanted a baby doll or a dog, you know, cat. My dad's allergic to cats, so my mom couldn't get one. Kind of wish they did. I didn't ask to be born. Alright, this is too existential. We need to accept all of that, acknowledge it, sit in that pain, acknowledge the pain, acknowledge the emotions, and let go. I know it's upsetting, and I can feel the pain, but honestly, it doesn't do me well to fixate on the possibility. I need to focus on things I can control, like my life and my behavior and my actions and my thoughts, my play. Anyways, Jesus Christ, why are you braking? Why? Look at that! Look at that! There's no reason to brake, truck. No, but like, you were like kinda behind me. Yeah, because you're not going fast enough. I'm not even speeding right now. But the thing is that, like, you see those slow drivers and you're just like, Jesus Christ, but then you get to around them and there's like another slow driver and you're like, oh my God, why is everyone just coasting? Why are we not pursuing? Honestly, this might be California driving, but they kind of have it right. You need to be driving with a little intention. And, like, the thing about Cali is, like, it's like 4 states combined. So, like, they can drive. You can drive in California for like 12 hours, still be almost halfway through California. 4 hours of that is probably LA. Like, if you're going from San Diego to like NorCal, like, you really need to account for at least 4 hours of traffic in LA, because, like, it's unpredictable. It could be 2, it could be 1 hour, it could be no hours. I mean, maybe 1 hour, I don't know. I haven't driven through LA and not hit traffic is what I'm trying to say. Like, you can drive 16 hours and still be in Texas, from Texas. And it's funny because, like, that's a topic of the World Cup. But look, again. Like, every time I go around somebody, it's just another fucking barrier of a person who doesn't want to accelerate. Jesus Christ. What are we doing, guys? You know what part of it is these stupid apps, these safe driving apps that monitor you and track your location and then they give you like a score. They give you like a driving score based on your speed alone. And it's like, I remember I did one and I was like, why is my score so low? And they're like, you're driving reckless, you're speeding a lot. It's like, bro, fuck you. And I think a lot of people have those apps because you can get some sort of discount on insurance. And like, I think that's what's happened with like all the work trucks is they're all GPS monitored, and so they can save money on the insurance, but that tracks their location and shit like that. And they're like, hey, if you speed too much, you got it written up. Like, shut up. Okay, I can't control that. I need to acknowledge that and move on. It's very hard to do that. Being an adult sometimes sucks. On the positive end, there's a lady that I've been going out with, and she's been great. She's tall. Never dated a tall woman. Ladies, I get it now. You know? She's beautiful. She's been nothing but positive. She doesn't have social media. Isn't that hot? Like, no more, I might turn this into a bit, but like, it's like no more like, you know, like, oh my God, why didn't you answer my text? I saw you posted a story on Instagram, but you didn't answer my text, like types of conversations, stuff like that. Yeah, like, it kind of sucks because I can't spam her with reels, but I don't know, maybe that's what drove the last one away. This has been a weird one, not gonna lie. But yeah, emotional vulnerability with yourself is the theme of the day. It's hard to be hard on yourself, especially in a performance. Like, a lot of comedians get too hard on themselves when they bomb, and it's like, sometimes it's like, don't blame the audience, but like, I don't know, sometimes it is the audience, you know, like, but also, you know, there's always like things you could have done, stuff like that, but like, it's like, you know, it's not like you're doing heart surgery. No one died. It's hard to be hard on yourself. It's easy to be hard on yourself. It's hard to be forgiving with yourself, you know? And, oh, that was the thing about the woman. Like, this new person is great, but I feel myself, like, pulling away because, like, I'm like a dog. I've always used this metaphor. I'm like a dog that, like, gets pet for the first time after abuse, and it's, like, barking, but it loves the pet, so it's, like, a half bark. It's like, it's just like, it's okay, little guy. You like pets. I just don't know good behavior. And it's not even like my dad, like, was, like, physically abusive. He was just emotionally neglectful and emotionally abusive and autistic and shit like that. And also, my parents are, like, staunch Republicans, so that didn't help. And, like, they literally pride themselves on being capitalists. And there's this thing called objectivism by, it's like Ayn Rand's little group, and it's just a shitty environment to be raised in, to be honest. Like, my parents never taught me budgeting, but they taught me how to do, like, a little bit of stocks. And I'm like, cool, I don't really know, I don't have money to buy stocks or whatever. Anyways, stock market is broken. What else happened in the news this week? Besides, like, Europeans and Asian people, like, trying American culture. They're like, oh my God, we get why Americans are so fat. Yeah, bro, because that shit tastes good. Like, ice is for hot environments. Air conditioning is great. Waffle House is amazing. Like, they just don't have, like, They just don't do syrup and whipped cream, it seems, over there. Like, I mean, they do, but it's like, this is the European, like, strudel syrup. Instead of like, this is maple syrup. It's pretty much like addictive. You know what? Americans get what I'm saying. Like, there's like, oh my God, you have an extra large Slurpee? Why? Because there's some fat fucks that love extra large and think there should be a bigger one. Okay, how do I tie a bow on this? Stop putting people on the pedestal, like your parents, like, honestly, like, famous people. Don't put, like, your hero. Don't meet your heroes, basically. But, like, my heroes are supposed to be my parents, so you do meet them. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is, like, do some breathing exercises, do some yoga. That's been helpful. Do some mental health workbooks, you know, especially if you're like obnoxious as an adult. Go to therapy, because most of you probably need it. I don't know. It's summer. I didn't really talk about my sobriety at all, but like, I do need to stop drinking because I can feel the weight sort of gaining. My lungs hurt. Or they don't hurt, but like, you know, when I smoked last night, I definitely was just like, oh my God, I need to use my inhaler a lot. Either way, we are close. Oh my God, it hasn't been like, time is moving slower for me. And the guy in front of me should be going faster, I guess. I don't know, we'll get there when we get there, or we won't, I don't know. Look how beautiful the mountains are, though. Yeah, you know, dead air, no, but like, I need to stop myself while I'm ahead with the drinking and stuff like that, smoking. It's okay to experience it once in a while, but, you know, you do have a past with addiction, and holy fuck. Okay, it was a kid. It was a kid with a parent in the car, possibly learning how to drive. Isn't that crazy? Like, you learn to drive from, like, the people that cause you the most trauma. I guess that's something for the stage. I might use that. Yeah, I don't know. Where do we go from here? Comment question of the day. What do you do to self-soothe? Like, when you're in a stressful environment, what do you do? Breathing techniques? I read one of them was like, if you want to like, one of them I learned this week, there was like, if you want to like really like progress with your nervous system, or if your nervous system is in a fight or flight, a good thing to like do is like smell some citrus. Like, apparently smelling citrus like recalibrates your nervous system. That was one. But anyways, yeah, comment question of the day. It's brought to you by NordVPN. We are manifesting that sponsorship or whatever. Yeah, comment question of the day. What coping mechanisms do you have to like regulate your nervous system, calm you down, self-soothe, whatever you want to call it? You could win a PS5 once I get funding, you know, to give away stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends to watch the Podkatz with Jason Katz, with your host Jason Katz. Stay up to date with my you know, whatever, my comedy, you know, and get sleep, have fun. It's summer. Everyone can have, I think school just ended. Pretty sure this is like the last day of school for most kids in Washington. Isn't that so late? It's literally like almost July, and they're like, yeah, see you in August. What are we doing? Like, I remember when it was like the first like summer going to college, and we got out like very late June, and then like my school started around like August, like mid-August, and I was like, my summer's halved, but you know, whatever. I'm not in college anymore. Anyways, this has been another episode 21 of the Podkatz with your host, or the Podkatz with Jason Katz with your host, Jason Katz. I will see you all next week. Do some healing. Bye.